What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the All New Nerds podcast, edition number 77. It is Super Bowl Sunday as we are recording this. Levi is sad because the Eagles have lost. Gibbs
some garbage calls, man.
Some gag calls, some questionable calls, maybe. I am fighting a high fever currently, so we're in a weird place right now.
We're in a tough spot.
We're both in a tough spot, but we're here to talk about the trailers that came out during the Super Bowl. We got some Guardians, we got some Flash, like finally.
A little bit of Indy.
A little bit of Indy, and then Disney's restructuring, and like there's some industry stuff going on. So I think there's enough to delve into here. It's just me and Levi, no Johnny, but
on the past couple of thumbnails, the thumbnail has said "and the DCU," and we haven't talked about it yet. But
it's true.
Maybe I think it's likely we'll at least cover the slate a little bit in this pod as well, because I think it's been a couple weeks since we've done a proper pod.
It's true. Last week was the 2 weeks ago was the droid tier list. We took the week off last week. We are back. Yeah, and there's a ton of DC stuff out. So, we can just hop right into Flash then, because I think that will sort of coincide with each other. Those two conversations.
I think both of our immediate reactions when you were texting me was, wow, that TV spot. Because during the game, which we both watched, obviously, you only get so much time. So a lot of the ads get cut down. And like the 30-second reel that they had, I was like 110% for. I think you were the same way.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay. Because I don't know. No one dogs on DC more than we do. I think I've recently been more up on it, but that's besides the point. And I don't know. Flash, it's like, who cares? Like, what is going on? Like, horrible people are involved in the making of this film. And then I see the trailer and I'm like, okay. I'm gonna watch this.
I will say, when the TV spot ended, like my parents, who are not like super plugged in, were like, "Oh, Michael Keaton Batman." They went, "Flash!" Like when the title card came up, they're like, "This is a Flash movie?" Like, what? They totally were like, "I thought this was a Batman thing," which was funny. In the full trailer, it's definitely not as egregious, but definitely I think for the mass audiences who watch the Super Bowl anyway, I think the biggest takeaway of the night is, hot damn, Michael Keaton Batman.
No, now that you mentioned it is sort of comedic, because like it's something that we've known as, sort of, big fans and nerds. But yeah, for the general audience just watching the Super Bowl, like that is like fully Batman. Like I think it's just like, I'm Batman and a bunch of Batman stuff. And Flash. It's like, okay. Yeah, but obviously the full trailer, you don't really get that. But yeah, I don't know. It looks good. Like he looks old, but I mean, that's to be expected. Suit looks the same.
Neck still doesn't move.
Just the theme, like coming in there, and I don't know, just felt like a kid again. It's good stuff.
It was pretty cool. I also during the we mentioned this before the show, but for the brief moment, and this can tie into the DCU discussion, because as we all know, there will be a new Batman movie, the Damian Wayne one, and so Brave and Bold, and there has been some rumors about casting for that, and obviously because Flash is a Flashpoint movie where we're doing different multiverses, it seemed like there were going to be some new Batman cameos. Maybe the Batman from the DCU will cameo. And at one point, people were like, "Is George Clooney going to be that?" Because, or was it Bale? Because in this trailer at first, I thought Batfleck was Bale. Like that bike, I was like, that looks like the Bale. I thought this was Nolan.
I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
Go ahead. I fully thought, I was like, oh, we're straight showing this. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It's definitely Batfleck, definitely Keaton. But it looks like maybe like George Clooney Batman will cameo at the end, which I think would be awesome. I'm a personal fan. I mean, everyone knows my unorthodox takes, but I love Tim Burton's The Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, which is obviously Joel Schumacher as well. But the goofier side of 90s Batman, I do enjoy, even though it's not necessarily like true to the character. Those films have a special place in my heart. So to see some love thrown in goofy Batman's way, I would love to see it. Now, I don't know about George Clooney taking over as the DCU Batman, which seems to be something that might be proposed, but I don't know. We'll discuss. I think you're about to pull up the footage here.
That's true. Look, I thought it was Nolan, man. I was like, no way, right? And I'm glad they're not doing that. That sounds just weird, but
Oh, it would be so sweet though if I could see all the Batmans. The Batman is like that is my DC thing. It is Batman. If I had to pick one
Oh
DC
no,
thing, it's
absolutely.
Batman.
Batman is my favorite superhero ever.
I mean, yeah, that's the
Not even
same.
close, really. Spider-Man probably comes in second, but I don't know. Batman above everyone else. So, but
I don't think we've really talked about that. I think we are the exact same way. I think Johnny dominates the DC discussion, but we're like for sure.
Johnny goes the same way, but he puts Spider-Man over Batman.
He's just Spider-Man or Batman. Yeah.
But come on, Batman is the best superhero. I don't think that's a hot take. I think most people are going to agree with that.
I don't know if it's the hot take, but I don't think we've really talked about it.
I'm a Batman guy through and through. Well, we often joke about the different Spider-Man suits and the Batman suits and how
yeah.
how like me and Levi seem to care way more about the different bat suits, whereas Johnny cares way more about the
spider
different
suits that look
suits.
exactly
They all look
the
the exact
same.
same to us. Like,
look at the lines and the logo, the spider logo. I'm like,
it's very funny.
This one is a circle shape. No, I don't know. For me, it is sort of Batman tangent, but it's Batman's rogues gallery. It's his villains, and obviously the character is so strong, but the villains he plays against are look at that. I mean, I just love it. It's so goofy, but it's awesome.
Goofy. It's goofy for sure.
It's so awesome.
I'm just thinking about So imagine Clooney. We have like 3 Batmans in a movie potentially, and it's a Flash movie. It is very, very strange, but
I mean, originally though, this movie was going to have the whole Justice League in it. And that's not like a secret. I don't know. There's been a lot of recuts of this film. Obviously, Ezra Miller, the star, they've gone through a lot of crazy things. Obviously, DC since this movie was made has been sold, then reformatted, and then given a new leader. So there's that to deal with. And we've just known there's been a lot of recuts and re-edits and everything going on with that. So initially, this was very much part of the previous DCEU, the sort of post-Snyder, but now Snyder was sort of coming back, with the Snyder cut, like that vision of things where maybe they were going to reset, but still use, Cavill came back in Black Adam. That was sort of the thing where, it's just a point in like pretending like it wasn't the thing. Gal Gadot was in this movie. Henry Cavill was in this movie. They filmed things that exists, but to the extent that they're in it now, I don't know. It seems like maybe James Gunn is proposing that this movie doesn't necessarily reset the DCEU, but it somehow
it's going to change things.
It changes things substantially enough where he feels he can do a new take on it, but it doesn't necessarily reset. We're not. It's not entirely clear. So I don't know.
Well, there's that one line from the movie where he's like, "I created a universe with no metahumans in it." I don't know. Obviously, we're going. If there's going to be a new Damian Wayne Batman movie in the future, like Batfleck can't be a thing.
Yeah.
And so I think at the end of this movie, we're going to be in a place where there are no Batman currently. Who knows? I mean, I'm very interested to see this movie just to see how it kicks off. Gods and Monsters Phase 1.
I think Gods and Monsters is Phase 1.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or is it Phase 1 of Gods and Monsters? I don't know.
No, I think it's Chapter 1.
Colon Gods and Monsters.
Yeah.
Starting with the Creature Commandos coming later this year.
It's true. Do we have a release date on Flash? June 4th?
June 16th. Yeah, June 16th.
Wow, June's going to be that hot. We got
this movie. Indy. This movie was originally slated to come out in 2017, I want to say. 2018, and is every year it's been delayed. And this is one of those things where it's not like it's Avatar or Alita Battle Angel is a good example where technically it was in development and it just kept getting pushed. This movie has literally been being made for that long. Like they keep COVID invested up. They keep like, oh, we got to do more reshoots. Like this movie might, I think when all is said is done, this is a total solo situation. Like this might be the most expensive movie ever made in terms of, oh, we just got to keep making this movie. It's still in production.
Yeah, then don't forget Ezra Miller's Hawaii rampage.
Rampage where
he like kidnapped like 3 like
someone
underage
through a chair,
girls.
like broke into someone's house.
He broke into someone's house like 4 times. I swear I saw that like
that headline.
That headline of like he got into an altercation, then broke into their house like 3 separate times. Like
And then they were on a farm in like Vermont or something. I don't know. So weird.
And they were gonna like allegedly they were thinking about like deep faking him out of this movie, and
I,
obviously they're not going with that because it's the Super Bowl and he's right. There's two of them on the screen, not just one of them. So
do you think that CW Flash will cameo in this film?
I can't really speak to that 'cause, I'm not a CW guy, but I don't know. I can see that happening. 'Cause I know there are diehards that
Yeah,
show.
nor am I, but I just know there are people who I think it's ending right around now. I think it's finally coming to an end, but people are just like that. I mean, honestly, that's a more consistent version of the Flash, I think, for a lot of diehard
Definitely.
fans than Ezra has ever been.
No,
Because
people love that show. I think so. I hear a lot about that show. So whatever's going on with the CW, I don't. We have to ask Brent Age Grogu about that.
yeah, I forget how much of a fan Brent is of CW.
It's true.
Brent Age of Obi-Wan, I believe. He's going by now, but so that's the Flash. I mean, Supergirl. That's pretty big.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's a
obviously
thing.
it's been known for a while. This takes me to one of my many criticisms of some of the new slate is that they're introducing this new Supergirl only to seemingly immediately replace her with a different Supergirl, which I don't know, like it's sort of like why. Like
Yeah, I mean that is happening.
it's like why I don't know. But she seems cool, and it seems like in this world with quote unquote no metahumans, what I gather from the trailer is she's in prison and like you see like a sort of an emaciated girl. I think maybe she does exist and they've been keeping her, they've been hiding her away. Something to that effect. She clearly breaks out, or they help her break out. But she seems cool. I don't know. But then when Zod shows up, it's her instead, and the same things happen to Gotham and Metropolis, but it's Kara instead. I don't know. I like that. I'm not sure how I feel about, and you can speak to this too, about the double berries. Don't know how I feel.
I mean, not only did I think it looked like visually sort of goofy, like I don't know if like the CG was not like great there, whatever they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Also, just I don't know. I don't need two Ezra Millers on screen. That's all I'm gonna say. The world does not need two of them.
No, I don't think
Hawaii's been through enough.
Yeah, watch out, Hawaii.
Watch out,
There's
Hawaii.
another
There's
one.
another one. Yeah.
I also think. Have you seen what the leak? I don't know if it's a leak at this point, but what the other one's costume looks like? Do you know about this?
I don't.
So, in the plot of the film, the second Flash, instead of the Snyder suit, has the Keaton Batman cowl turned into his Flash suit. And so it has like the fat neck and it looks kind of goofy. Yeah,
I was gonna say in theory that sounds cool, but if you're telling me in execution, it is not.
Well, I mean, allow me to. Here's an. I have an image. It's yeah, it's sort of like I don't hate it, but there's a couple of angles where it just looks a bit dense, like it's a bit thick.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's one frame I can't project. I don't know if I can find it, but where it's just like a straight on shot, and it's just very wide. It's very wide in the neck.
Because it's the Keaton cowl.
Yeah, it is. You can see it is the Keaton cowl with the bat ears that have been sanded down. I believe is the implication. Shoot, I don't want to disrupt the flow too bad, but yeah, in essence, I think it kind of looks goofy. I don't know.
I mean, on that,
not that big of a deal though.
I was sort of hoping they were gonna revamp the '89 suit just a little bit.
No.
Same
thing. Same.
Maybe give it. Maybe just let him turn a little better. I do hope we get some callback moments where we have to see him like do his classic.
They were that was part of the best parts of the Burton movies. Like it's like Darth Vader in Empire, where he's like he whips around full.
It's hilarious. I don't know. I'm excited to see it. It's never been my favorite suit, even though I love Keaton. Honestly, my favorite part about those movies was Bruce Wayne. I love Keaton's Bruce Wayne. So I hope we get to see him out of the mask a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder, are we going to that world? Like, are we going to Burton World specifically? You know, where Gotham is like crazy Art Deco and stuff, shit. Like I would love to see that again.
I from the trailer, it seems like we're just like in the Batcave, and like I might just stick with that. I don't know. I want to see some Michelle Pfeiffer. I need me some Catwoman.
Well, one of the many things that is not in the new DCU but was being worked on was the Michelle Pfeiffer Keaton movie. Like, that was the thing. They were gonna do like a bat and a cat, but they're both like, you know, cougars. and then like after Batman Returns, it's sort of a spiritual sequel to that. And I would have loved that. I think that probably would have been awesome.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm just thinking about the Ender Returns right now.
I know it sets it up so well. I love Returns so much. Returns pod.
Those are great movies. Well, I think a Batman tier list could be coming in the future.
Potentially. And I for one would put Returns up there. For the scene at the ball alone where Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne are like, the way the camera's moving around them and they both realize that they're both in their masks right now. It's so great. And this isn't the real version of them. It's one of my favorite like Batman scenes, but the movie gets clowned on a little bit. People sleep on it.
I don't. You've said that, but like I feel like
is the sentiment changing? I mean, I could be wrong.
I feel like the sentiment might be changing. I feel like I see a lot of love for that movie. I mean, it is the problem with those first two Keaton movies, where I think just like it will have these really great like Batman moments and very serious, and then it goes very goofy. Like I don't know, like Batman like kicking the like clown guy like down in the sewer.
They were throwing the bomb
down there, and it's like okay, like it's hard for me to take that sort of seriously as like a serious Batman, and then.
But there's penguins with rockets on their backs.
Yeah. That whole like third act of just down in the sewers. It's a lot.
I want to see it. I want to see that in Flash. I would go to see that movie like 10 times. I would pay so much money if they bring that back. If they bring DeVito Penguin back. Oh my god.
I know, and I'm with you there, but I don't think that's.
No, it's not. It's not in the cards.
I think I know it's just a trailer, and we're probably gonna like. Hopefully, it's gonna be more. But part of me feels like we're just seeing like Batcave stuff with Michael Keaton, like just that one scene in the Batcave. Like that's it.
I mean, we see him out in like the snow or whatever.
It's okay. It's true. Because we see Batfleck action scenes too. Like
yeah, true.
He looks cool. He has some sort of new suit on.
I totally like forgot because the last trailer we had for this was the one way long ago during DC Thunderdome. What the hell is it called? Fandom. the weird
Thunderdome fandom.
The weird virtual event where it's like everyone's standing in a green screen that I always thought was kind of corny.
No,
but
it's
like
fitting.
In that trailer, I think the one thing we saw was Keaton's the bloody cowl, and then there's a whole courtroom scene that I think was meant to establish Keaton as the new DCEU Batman over Batfleck, because previously like Affleck was like, I'm out, but then after filming something he was like, I'm back, and then he was going to be an Aquaman, and then it was Keaton in Aquaman, and then Keaton was going to be in Batgirl, but they canceled Batgirl.
The whole Batgirl piece of the puzzle is very interesting to me, and God, I hope that someday some sort of footage surfaces of that. Like
I really think they freaking
I don't know
acid wash.
I know that whole they deleted it from the servers.
Yeah.
Like there were copies in movies. Like
there gotta be
somewhere like at least a few minutes.
No matter how bad that movie they claim it would have been, if there was like a whole solid 20 to 30 minutes of Michael Keaton Batman in there, I want to see that.
I want to see that.
I want to see Keaton Batman.
I also hope that the window hasn't closed on Batgirl just in general.
She's had a pretty rough go of it, man. Her TV show didn't take off. All like 3 times in succession, the main actor like left, which wasn't great. And then sort of like kneecapped that character. And
Barbara Gordon's been sort of shafted over the past. Like, it's too bad.
Outside of the Arkham games, she really hasn't had a good depiction, or at least well liked depiction.
Yeah, Arkham games fantastic. Arkham Knight, A Matter of Family, just like incredible DLC. That's like peak Batgirl for me. And then Animated series, Batgirl, big fan of her. We haven't quite gotten there yet with Levi on the
We haven't gotten
Batman
we haven't gotten
animated
anywhere.
series podcast. Yeah, it's true. We'll get there
Still,
eventually.
it's still in production. It's not indefinitely delayed. We swear.
She's in like mid-season 1. She's great too. And then there's a Killing Joke, Barbara Gordon, where I know.
Well, speaking of which, we can't discount the new Batman movie that's been announced is explicitly a Bat family thing. So I imagine she's got to at least show up in that, or maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know how people felt about Barbara Gordon Gotham Knights. That game sort of just came out and then
It went.
came and went.
Gaming. This could be a total side tangent, but gaming hasn't really. It just I like its stories, whatever is coming out. Because I grew up with games. I gamed a lot. I love games. I love the stories they can present. But in the last like 3-4 years, really since COVID, since COVID, this last 3 years, I haven't felt that the industry has been having any like meaningful impact on storytelling. I don't know, like this whole Hogwarts Legacy just came out, and all that I know about it is the controversy, and I'm not really even interested in playing it. People are like, it's a mid game. Okay, like you spent hundreds of millions of dollars for everything's like it became this game. Everything shifted to the games as a service thing, and I hate it. I hate that. I hate everything's like a Destiny clone, which is already a World of Warcraft clone. It's all just like the games as a service persistence thing. I love what The Last of Us is doing, or what it did, and now what it's doing on TV, which just speaks to the medium of television. But I don't know. I might be wrong for that. That might be a bad take, but
okay. Well, if you're making the point of like story-driven narrative games, then sure. The thing about that is those games take a long time to make. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 came out not that long ago. You know, like
I mean, 5 years at this point.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, they take a long time to make, right? So like,
yeah, for sure.
And the new like Ragnarok,
new God of War,
that. Yeah, like I don't know, like there are good games out there, and then but yeah, I mean, obviously in terms of gaming industry, it's just like battle royale stuff and FPSs and yeah, I don't know.
I feel like the new God of War gets dwarfed in terms of the conversation by all this other like crap that sort of like flooded the market. Like I saw a video pop up on my recommended for an expansion. Just it doesn't even matter what it is. Like just all these expansions of games that have came out like 10 years ago. That I'm like,
yeah, well, it's true. I feel like a lot of the big stuff recently has been like just remaster, PC remaster,
the same thing over again. Yeah,
especially just as a PC player, it's just like, to me, the past few years have been like God of War, like Spider-Man, like coming up, Last of Us,
which is all stuff that already came out.
Decade-old games, yeah. Well, I mean, to bring it all back to Star Wars,
for sure.
Survivor comes out a couple months, and outside of what was a great game, gameplay-wise, like Fallen Order, like has a great story. Short, but like a great Star Wars story. I think it works very well in canon, and I appreciate it that they're doing sort of like built-in canon stuff. And I don't know, like Lucasfilm has done a good job like acknowledging it, which is usually not the case. But I feel very seen as a Fallen Order fan, and just
BD1
live action Star Wars. Yeah, just like that mostly. But I don't know. I feel seen.
Well, the Zepho and Bad Batch. I mean,
exactly. Like yeah. I guess those are just the two things. But
speaking of which, quickly before we shift back to maybe the Super Bowl trailers. You want to give your take on the most recent Bad Batch stuff? You weren't there on the stream.
I was not on the Wednesday stream. Well, I mean, what can I say that hasn't been said? I mean, fantastic episodes. I'm trying to think where they rank, like, in the whole series, like probably pretty high, like maybe top 5. I don't know. I'm a big Ryu Chuchi head. Always have been. So great to see her again. And then like Pelp showing up. It's good stuff as always. Love the clone assassin. Hope we find out more about him, and just I don't know, just good episodes. I do have to rewatch them. I haven't seen them since they came out, but
felt like Clone Wars.
It did,
and that's a compliment.
Yeah, I mean, I would say maybe even the first one
was just straight up like a Clone Wars.
Maybe even I liked that one better. Seeing the Clone Bar again was awesome, and just good Rampart stuff, good Senate stuff, like. Seeing Chuchi go at Rampart like in the Senate, that was a good moment. That was
I mean, do we think we ever even see him again? I feel like he's done.
Rampart? No.
I feel like that dude is dead.
Yeah, I think that's it with Rampart. Unless we get like, no, I don't think so, man. I think Rampart is like, that's it. It's too bad. I actually think he was one of my like on the upper end of Imperial officers for me.
Do you think? I mean, it raises the question. I feel like we kind of have to have a new villain introduced for the series.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could see Tarkin maybe sort of
Darken stepping in the role.
stepping into the role. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. What we will see.
I would like it to be Tarkin, but
Well,
yeah,
to not so
hopefully.
eloquently, yeah, to detour back to the Super Bowl. More James Gunn. Not
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
Flash,
Let's talk Guardians, man. Because
but Guardians. I think we're all up on Guardians.
yeah,
or at
because
least
Flash is a mess. Whatever. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Guardians. I know what we're getting. We're getting
the
the
finale,
finale to we're
emotional
getting
finale.
third entry to the trilogy. It's sad. People are gonna die. I mean, that last shot of
Like,
Star-Lord
or
screaming,
screaming.
like, ugh.
Yeah, man, this is kind of the year of Chris Pratt and Pedro Pascal, huh? I got Chris has got Mario, Guardians, Pedro's Last of Us,
What's the year of
Mando.
Jonathan Majors, man? There's
Jonathan Majors has been having like a couple of years here. He popped off real quick after
no,
Loki. It was
there's this at my local movie theater. There's this wall with this huge Quantumania like cardboard cutout with Kang, and then a huge Creed 3 poster, and then a big like devotion poster.
It's like it's a whole Jonathan
We
Majors.
always me to the Jonathan Majors wall. Is what we call it. Very funny.
That's awesome though.
I have a picture of me in the Jonathan Majors wall.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah, he's Jonathan Majors sweep. Can't wait for Creed 3.
Okay, note. About to say, yes. 1, can't wait for Creed 3. 2, can you believe Ant-Man comes out in like 5 days?
I can, and I'm excited, man. Me and Levi got tickets for Thursday night, not together.
That's true.
But
I keep forgetting about it though.
I mean, I feel like there was a point in this channel where we covered Marvel pretty heavily. I mean, Johnny was putting out like a reaction to like every WandaVision episode. Like that wouldn't happen today.
No.
Clearly we don't care as much about Marvel because
I think it's a product of, I mean, Johnny is definitely more into the superhero side of things than at least I am. I don't know about I can't speak for you, but at least I am, and I know that drove a lot of that love. And not that we don't like Marvel, but I think there's just in the general audiences, there's been a fair amount of there's just oversaturation. Not that I haven't liked the content, but I can't deny that there's just been, I think, too much, and audiences are like, yeah. I mean, we're literally Ant-Man. We're in like the mid 30s of films in a collective series. That's nuts. If you count the other MCU projects, like not even the Netflix stuff or the shorts or Agents of Shield, like just the shows, the Disney Plus shows, which are explicitly MCU, you're looking at 40 plus projects and like hundreds of hours of content in one consecutive series. That's absurd. Like that is, but not necessarily absurd on its face, but in the span that it's happened and only like a decade and a half, that is crazy. 40 movies, 40. Whole like goddamn, like that is. Like,
I mean, they make money, but this is.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying when you say it out loud and you start to think about it.
This is a thought I had the other day. I mean, I was 7 years old or 8 years old when the first Iron Man movie came out.
Yeah.
And I was like 11, 12 when Avengers 1 came out. And it's like,
yeah.
So the whole Infinity Saga, it's like I had grown attached to these characters. I grew up with it. So part of me wonders, sure, has the quality gone down a little bit like since Infinity Saga? Like yes. But I'm sure there are like kids out there that like were my age that are now watching this stuff that are like really getting excited going forward. And I don't know. I think maybe like people are just outgrowing it, like age wise. Like I think that could be it.
Yeah, it has been that long.
It's been that long where like yeah, it's been decades, nearly.
I draw the
decade and a half.
Obviously, because not only is it the other Disney property, but or even take Indiana Jones. I was going to say Star Wars, but take Indy, another huge franchise. I'd say hugely culturally relevant. There's only 5 movies in like 40 years. Obviously, there's other content.
I mean, not even 5 yet.
But not even 5 yet. Star Wars, arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, the original blockbuster franchise. Only, 9 main movies, 11 live action films. Also over nearly 50 years now. Where Marvel has done, like 40 in 15. The saturation level is just, it's impressive. If nothing else, it is impressive.
It's impressive. It's a lot of money spent. I mean, just like trying to wrap my head around the logistics of shooting that many projects. Just from an industry standpoint is it's amazing. I mean, you got to tip your hat to Feige because like
And speaking of which, before we loop back around to Guardians, which I do, we got to give it its time. The whole, this is a segue for later, but the fact that Feige was almost fired in 2015 with like Perlmutter, and there's this whole hostile takeover that was trying to happen to Disney that dovetails into what's with the restructuring now, and Bob Iger was like fighting off a secession type hostile takeover from, Nelson Peltz. There's insane stuff that went on in the last week with Disney. But before we go there, Feige, someone who he's had faith in, James Gunn, who has shepherded this franchise, Guardians. And as you were saying, Guardians, I mean, might be the best trilogy if this movie lands.
if
MCU
this movie
trilogy.
I mean, I don't know. Talk about trilogies is something I really enjoy. Not just talking about the movies individually, but what makes a great trilogy as far as how things wrap up. One of my favorite takes being the Lord of the Rings trilogy is better than any Star Wars trilogy. Not to say I'm a bigger Lord of the Rings fan than Star Wars, not to say I think any of those movies are better, but just as a trilogy, fantastic. So that being said, the trilogy of Guardians, like 1, 2 banger entries. So I'm really hoping this third one comes and seals it. And as of right now, I think like probably Iron Man is the best trilogy. But even then, like it's sort of like not the strongest. Like
Yeah,
it's definitely not Captain America.
I think I probably put Cap over.
I see that just don't make sense to me. Like Civil War is like barely a Captain America movie to me. Like it's not a good end to the trilogy.
I think that's a debate for a different time, but I'll tell you what, it's better than the Thor trilogy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The third trilogy is awesome. I mean, awful. Sorry.
Yeah, awful.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh
yeah.
no.
Well, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a quad.
It's two duologies. I think is more accurate.
Yes.
It's basically what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be the best. I don't think it has very hot competition as far as like great trilogies.
Also true.
Like I just like I was saying, I like all the Iron Man movies. Like I like all the Captain America movies, but just as I was saying, what makes a great trilogy? And I don't think we have any like perfect trilogies.
My one or couple of holdups with it that keep me from being the most excited, because I've loved. At first, I was kind of lukewarm on Volume 2, but I've really come around to it. I really love Volume 2, even more so than 1, actually. And if you remember our Marvel tier list, I have them both, towards the top.
They were both an S.
Both an S. But my one holdup, or like I said, technically a couple. I'm not sure I'm fully in on High Evolutionary or Adam Warlock yet. Adam Warlock, Will Poulter, I'm willing to give the shot, but off the rip, I'm like, I don't know if I buy the purple genetic man. It doesn't necessarily like totally captivate me, but we'll see. I mean, I'm open to it. I think he might pull it off, but that's my one nervous thing is the villains, and a movie needs a good villain. The other thing is I'm worried it might be too much of a nostalgia play. We're almost 10 years out from the first Guardians, so it's been a while. But like there are particular shots in the trailer where I'm like, this is just the prison scene from the first one again. I'm like,
I don't know. I think James Gunn's better than that.
Plus, I think he's too. I think he's too.
We saw in recent Guardian stuff, like it's not like it's been a while since Volume 2, but we've seen him appear in other stuff. Most recently, the holiday special, but
Thor,
Avengers,
Love and Thunder,
Thor, like and it's all landed there. But
True.
To your villain point, I just want to say Guardians 1, like Ronan, like that's pretty mid villain to me.
I like Ronan.
No, I mean he's not.
You got Thanos involved. I like that.
I just don't think he stands out so much as like a great villain. Whereas 2, like Ego is fantastic, and then you got the whole stuff going on with the gold people. I forget what they are called.
The sovereignty.
Like I mean, that's all good stuff. I don't know. I think where Guardians has always shined is in the team,
the heroes,
which is obviously what James Gunn does well. Like we look at Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, and just like he's great at assembling these teams. With their
you know what.
Peacemaker, with their talking animals. It's true.
So I'll obviously willing to give it a shot. Super excited about it. The TV spot that aired during the actual game was super funny. It was, Peter Quill, Drax on the couch, that they had this whole back and forth that wasn't in the normal trailer.
Yeah.
Thought it was good. I was like, yep, I like that. It was pretty much a short little clip, like a TV spot, a scene, and I was like, I like that. I'm there for it. Comedy's still working, humor's still working. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything too in depth to like break down about the actual trailer.
It's gonna be emotional.
Stuff we've seen, but it's gonna be emotional. It's gonna be a rocket heavy story.
Yeah, he finds love. We know that they shot multiple endings with multiple characters dying in order to keep it ambiguous for both the actors and the audience. So leakers haven't really been able to crack this one because they shot every version of it on purpose. That is a known thing. So yeah, we know someone's dying. It's time to face the music. That was the tagline. We'll see.
My prediction, I'm going with no one dies.
No one?
No one dies.
That's the twist.
That's the twist.
It's like M. Night. I think Drax is like a total goner.
No, my real prediction is probably gonna be Star-Lord. If it's anyone.
You think Quill's going?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good finish on his arc.
I mean, I don't hate that idea, but the only actor who's been like, I'm moving on is Batista. He's like, I don't ever want to play this role again. I'm done. He's like, I gave it a perfect ending. That's it. I like. That sounds like.
Oh, but I mean, I don't really expect any of them to come back besides maybe Rocket and.
Oh, I
Groot. You think the whole gang is coming back? Like, I don't know. I just
for freaking secret wars.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, just for all that they've been.
Actually,
in,
you know what? I call bullshit on Dave Bautista not playing that character again. For sure.
Okay. Well, fine. Yeah. That goes back to none of them are gonna die.
Yeah, never mind. I changed my stance.
I think they might be pulling this whole like, I don't know. No one ever really dies either in these movies. I don't know.
Yeah, they're all coming back. I completely changed my tune. They might die in the movie, but even in Secret Wars, they're going through every reality. Kang is like merging all the dimensions. All the characters will be there.
As interconnected as the Guardians have been, I mean, even just looking back in like Infinity War, it's just like Iron Man and Spider-Man and like the Guardians. Like that is like the team up on Titan, which is just like very crazy to me. But that being said, I feel like the Guardians have always felt pretty disconnected from the rest of the MCU. I don't know if you feel that sentiment. More to the point where I think they just like exist on their own. They don't need the MCU to like fall back on. So
not necessarily no.
Like
Peter Quill Iron Man interactions, Peter Quill Tony Stark are like some of my favorite bits of that whole Infinity War. I love that stuff.
I can just like see a world in which Guardians 3 like ends and maybe characters die, maybe they don't, like, and that's it, and we don't see him again. Because James has been involved every time they show up, right? Like to some extent.
I think technically he's talked about how, to some extent, yes. I'll just say, just make it easy. He wasn't technically he didn't direct them in Love and Thunder, for example. But
he's consulted. Notes at the very least. He's involved. Like I think like he's just moving on from Marvel.
Yeah, he's got freaking DC to run.
He's
got a lot on his plate. I think the Guardians will continue. I think we sort of know that actually, that it's going to be a new team, because that's how what's happening in the comics as well. And I think maybe a new creative takes over. Maybe Sean Gunn takes a crack at it. And I only say that half joking. I mean, he's been involved in a lot of projects. I believe he either produced or wrote Brightburn. That could be a false claim. But I know creatively.
Nepotism thing going on. Had he done anything before like James Gunn got in the industry?
I don't know, but Sean Gunn, can you check the Brightburn thing? I feel like I think of it as being Sean Gunn being involved as well with James. Either way, maybe he takes a crack at it. Keep it in the family. He clearly has a lot of the same sentiments as his brother. So I don't know.
Check.
Throw it out there. I mean, to say that he has a lot on his plate is definitely an understatement. He has to write a Superman movie. Peter Safran, who is the co-executive of DC, is trying to get him to direct it. Are you looking?
Yeah, the screenplay of Brightburn was written by Brian Gunn and Mark Gunn.
Other Guns.
Producer James Gunn.
Okay.
No Sean.
No Sean. Different Guns.
Guns. Other guns.
Oh, I forget. Wow. So I was like, I knew, I identified in my head. I was like, there's another gun in there, but who are they? Are they other brothers?
Yeah. I think there's 5 of them.
Oh my God.
No, they're cousins. Okay, so Mark is
the cousins. The cousins.
Mark is a cousin. Okay,
dude,
I don't know. I'm going to the gun rabbit hole right now.
The gun hole.
I always appreciate these small little like Hollywood like team ups. Like you always got like Wes Anderson and Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah. Chris McKay and Will Ferrell is another one.
Yeah.
one of my favorite.
Either way, yeah. I mean, a Sean Gunn like Guardians. I don't know. It's because when you look at something like ending the trilogy, it's like Spider-Man, right? So it's like No Way Home. Like this is the end of the trilogy, but it's like, oh, we're doing another trilogy in like 3 years, right? It's like, well, like it might as well just be 4. So I don't know. What do you think a Guardians team going forward would look like?
Well, I think they're gonna have the dog Cosmo. I think
Which
Rocket will stick around.
first off, I don't have a strong opinion on this. Sorry to interrupt you, but Cosmo, like, completely mishandled. Like, I don't know what they were doing with Cosmo because in the comics,
special.
Yeah, in the comics, Cosmo is like a grizzled like space dog that has been around the block and is like really like, I don't know, like an old like badass like old timer like. They made him like her like not powerful and like sort of not like sort of goofy and like not knowing what she's doing, which is just, like I know some just like heavy comic book fans that were like absolutely like very upset about this. And this other guy I don't like know also hates Pizza Dog for that same reason. Or Pizza Dog got ruined too.
Yeah, Pizza Dog did get ruined. I'm there with you because I've read that comic run.
And he's like, they're ruining all the animal adaptations. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm just fighting on this.
I think Cosmo could probably still have a good arc in the film. Obviously, you know, the Cosmo's appearance in the holiday special wasn't exactly robust. But I'm there with Pizza Dog. That was dumb. It's like why even a lot of stuff in Hawkeye was.
Well, then this scares me for the inevitable Howard the Duck. Like
Howard,
you know that's gonna happen eventually, right? Like a little more than just
Marvel movie 49. Howard the Duck returns.
I mean, but it's going to happen. I mean,
probably.
You know, more than just a little cameo. Him and Stanley hanging out on a rock somewhere.
George comes out of retirement for Howard the Duck. That's what gets him. I really want to see Howard the Duck done right.
Howard the Duck done right.
Axe Woes. Oh, I had another Axe Woes moment the other day where I found out something. Oh, yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about this. So, quick Star Wars aside. Before speaking of George, let's talk about the Indy thing. You know, George brought a lot of the same goofy energy that I'm about to talk about to the Indy franchise. But in the second Bad Batch, the most recent Bad Batch episode in Tribe, last week's episode, a lot of the stuff in it was repurposed from the unfinished arc of Clone Wars on Kashyyyk. So stuff they were working on in like 2012. And the main villain of that arc, who was in this, they reused the model, was the Trandoshan, whose name is like Babwa Venomore, and that's a George name. It's in the trivia. It says like Venomore. George. It says that George named it, and I'm like, yes, that's so awesome.
Venomore.
Babwa Venomore. I'm like, mother trucker George. Like this is like we're still getting his contributions to Star Wars in the form of.
Is that his name in the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, never spoken, I imagine, but he's credited.
I think they might say Bob Wobbit. They might say Commander Venomore, but I don't want to say they definitely don't say Bob.
Barbar. Oh, George. Axe Woves.
Isn't that awesome though? Like years later, 10 years later, yeah, Bob Venomore. Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, Trandoshan Commander. That's so stupid.
I mean, that is great. You know, we all talk about wanting to see more George in modern day Star Wars, but at least we get a Trandoshan character, a one-off Trandoshan character that George named 10 years ago.
Yep.
And we get a
Axe Woves.
Axe Woves. Nearly Grogu.
Yeah, for those who don't know what we're referencing, when Dave Filoni was telling George about the concept of Grogu, George suggested naming the child Axe Woves, and Dave was like, "No,
no, George.
But as a consolation, they named one of the Mandalorians, who is Simon Cassidy's character, Axe Woves. So the name Axe Woves that lives on.
Who's for sure gonna die in this upcoming season of Mando?
He's gonna be Axe Woves. He's going down.
I got a bad feeling about Axe Woves.
Got a bad feeling about Axe. I mean, there has been some leaked footage of him fighting Bo-Katan.
I know. That's why.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why I got a bad feeling about Axe.
That stinks. Not great. Not the best. Anyway, so yeah, George though, Indy 5, James Mangold, based on George Lucas's one of his original pitches. Indy 5, the Dial of Destiny. We're getting close. It's coming out like within a week of The Flash. It's gonna be a fight to
Yeah,
the
no,
death.
I don't
And
know
to,
why they always do this.
I know, and once again to tie it into the looming Disney reconstruction, this movie needs to make like $800 to $1 billion to be profitable because they spent 400 million on it, I think, which is crazy to me. I don't know why they did that. Like, is an indie movie in
I mean, how
2023?
much did Harrison cost though?
I
Probably
don't
a
know.
lot of
Yeah,
that.
probably a lot of the dough. But
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I think it can do that well. It just needs to be marketed correctly.
I worry about it. Like, what if indie just like bombs?
I mean, I've always sort of took this as like this is it, right?
Yeah, but I'm more concerned. So here we go. Let's talk about all of it. I'm more concerned of its effects now on Lucasfilm because as part of this new restructuring, so as we all know, Bob Chapek gone, Iger back in. His whole shtick is accountability. So his deal is that they're going to focus less on some of this extraneous content. He's given full creative control back to the heads, studio heads. So that's Kevin Feige, that's Kathleen Kennedy, who then delegate to creatives. But if those projects fail, there's no safety net. There's no, oh, we've got to keep churning out stuff for the machine, so keep making it, which was Chapek's plan. It's you're done. You're fired. Everyone, no one is safe now because Disney has to succeed, and Iger wants to incentivize not only good storytelling, but profitable storytelling. I mean, it's a company after all. So, like, if indie bombs, I go, ugh, what does that mean for other projects of that nature? I think in the case of indie, it's sort of grandfathered in. This has been in production for so long. I'm not sure that would really have any effect, but it raises the question of, what's coming down the pike in terms of the success of this. What if Damon Lindelof's movie only makes 400 million? Do we not get another Star Wars movie for
No,
for 6 years?
It's Star Wars is Star Wars, man.
I know. I'm being a little bit. I'm exaggerating a little bit to illustrate the kind of creative business situation that has been established now at Disney.
It's true. I don't know. I mean, I always thought Dial of Destiny was going to be like, that's it, right? So yeah,
It's
if it bombs,
it has to be it. Yeah,
it could have implications on stuff down the line, but I don't think it will. They just need to market it right. Like, people will go and see an Indiana Jones movie.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull made 800 million. So,
and that was a while ago. So I haven't seen that movie in a while, but like, is Mutt going to be in Dial of Destiny? Like, is that a thing?
I don't know. I mean,
like where's Mutt? Where do they leave off Mutt at the end of Crystal Skull?
Well, the movie ends with Indy and Marion getting married.
Yeah, he's like at the wedding,
and Mutt's at the wedding.
He's at the wedding.
Yeah, he's their son.
I know.
It's a very like right off into the sunset. Like Indy's still Indy. Like Mutt goes to take the hat, and Indy takes it right back, and then he rides off into the sunset. But it's down the wedding. It's down the aisle. It's very.
There was talk of just like a Shia LaBeouf like wed like Indiana Jones movie.
I think it's possible. I think it was possible back in the day, but the movie ended with like a pretty unambiguous like, nope, Indy's still Indy. He has a kid now, so maybe that'll go somewhere, but he's done. So there's no way to avoid it. Like he got married. Like it was a real upbeat ending.
But now is there talk of Phoebe Waller-Bridger becoming the new like?
Well, she's his goddaughter.
Is she going to become like the new Indy?
I don't know. That's been a rumor for a long time.
I've heard that too, where it's like,
but it's been a rumor spread by, like, those kind of people.
Yeah, yes, people they're gonna make a woman Indiana.
Yeah,
what is it? Trump like they made the Ghostbusters women.
I love that video. But it's not. Have you seen total? Yeah, Trump's Dark Knight Rises review. Also funny.
Do you like it?
I think, yeah. One of the few things I agree with him on. But but it's a very funny video.
I do enjoy these like conservative opinions on like nerd culture, like Ben Shapiro's like
His
Star Wars
Star Wars
ranking
tier
is
list.
just like hilarious. He's a prequel guy, you know. That's the one thing we
Yeah.
can agree on, Ben.
Episode 9 is his number 5 or whatever, so
Yeah,
he likes
not
it more
bad.
than you.
It's true. Oh my god, what? Okay, yeah, he is the most random list. Okay, back to Dial of Destiny.
It's a strange list. No, so I think that there is no, I don't think so. I mean, James Mangold has said like, no, we're not doing that. So it depends on who you believe. Obviously, directors and creatives lie before to preserve the sanctity of a project. I don't know. I mean, clearly Indy's old. He's the older character. She's the younger character. She's the Mutt in this situation. I think she'll probably be done better than Mutt because I trust the creative team behind this one a little bit more in terms of the writing acumen, anyway. So I don't know. I even if she quote unquote did become Indiana Jones, I'm not like worried about. I don't know. Harrison Ford is like 80. he's not going to be Indy forever, and I don't. Those kinds of conversations don't really move me. If the story is good, the story is good. That's like my bottom line.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's like post this movie, like they're gonna
we'll get more.
a new indie series where it's like something something Jones, like Montana Jones, you know.
Well, have you heard the rumor? Not rumors, but there was the trades reported they're doing an Indiana Jones show, but it's set before with Marion Ravenwood's dad and like the students. Because if you remember in the first movie, he talks about how he knew her dad and
I know that's the whole
like,
plot of him going to Nepal.
So they're gonna do that story.
That's cool to me.
That's what the rumor is.
As a big Raiders head and big Marion head. I mean, I honestly think that's this is a hotly debated topic among the nerds. Raiders versus Last Crusade. And I think what edges out Raiders for me personally is the top is Marion.
She's the best.
She's the best leading girl. And I think Spielberg had talked about wanting to do sort of a James Bond thing where every single movie has a different like leading girl, but
yeah,
I don't know. I always thought Marion should have continued on, and Willie is just the worst.
Yeah, I was say we can agree that Willie is the worst.
Screw you, Steven Spielberg, for putting your wife in some nepotism going on there, and just make her the worst character of all time.
Well, I think he married her based off of that movie. I don't think they were married.
Were they not married? He married her after that?
No, he fell in love with her on the set, I thought.
I don't know. You probably know better than I do.
Yeah, I thought that was a story because he cheated on his wife.
I just see the connection, and I'm just like, I don't know.
That's what made Fableman so like good.
I haven't seen Fable. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah, well,
I know it is a David Lynch cameo in it too.
Spielberg's family dealt with a lot of infidelity, and Spielberg himself just like cheated on his wife with like that's like it's something he's had to deal with. But yeah, I'm like pretty sure the story is he fell in love with her on set of Temple of Doom. So say what you will about that. I don't know. One of my favorite parts of Crystal Skull is Marion coming back. I love the older Marion Indy dynamic. They're I love.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the trailer again right now, and like I'm pretty sure that's Karen Allen, like falling out of the plane with Indy. Because
I think I was Phoebe because at the end.
Oh, you're right. It is. No,
well, actually, it could be editing, like, you know, making you think one thing.
It's sort of hard to tell. There's like one frame of her face, and she looks sort of older, but it's just kind of hard to tell because it's like fully CGI too. So
yeah,
let me pull this up.
Pulling it up, doing a review, live review.
This is like the best like frame that I can get.
That looks so horrifying.
I know, like I can't, like who is that? Like
there's a couple of beasts. If you showed me this without context, I would not know what the hell I was looking at.
Two CGI beasts.
Like that doesn't look like a hand. Like it looks like a foot. Like what? like what is happening?
Yeah, let me slow it down big time. But it does look like the
I
captions
think
are saying.
Yeah, that's Phoebe.
Okay. I this is the one I haven't watched since I saw it on TV.
However, I will say, maybe it's deceptive because if you rewind there, or it's down now, but in that final shot the people who were falling out of the plane were clearly falling out of like a German bomber by the markings, and there wouldn't be German bombers in 1969.
True.
But Marion Ravenwood's around in 1944, which is when the movie starts.
I don't know. I need Marion in this movie. I mean, we know we're getting Sala, which is that's a big.
I know, big win.
Is it go get him, Indy?
Indy,
yeah. And I want Short Round, but I don't think that's happening.
That'd be so rad.
No, like that'd be so. That's the only good part of like Temple of Doom, but I don't know. Just based on was it Ken
Kwan's, yeah,
Ken Kwan in Harrison's sort
Kwan.
of reunion in that photo. It's like pretty obvious.
It doesn't seem like they
seen each other. So yeah, Karen Allen lives not far from me.
There you go. Fun fact.
She lives in Massachusetts.
There you go. Well, as we approach an hour here, is there any other like pressing topics that come to mind? I think we've covered a lot. We've touched on a hell of a lot in the last 55 minutes.
True. It's true.
And any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? Besides putting Short Round into Dial of Destiny? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, the only thing is, I mean, leave in the comments below if it's sort of not necessarily old news now, but if you want us to really break down every DCU project, I mean, let us know. And I think we're amenable to that. I just don't know if we have the desire, or there's so many, and at this point it's so far away, and I'm not sure. There's not a lot to talk about.
There's not enough to talk about. We could pull up the picture of each project and be like, okay, that looks interesting.
It's this. Or
at the end of the day, there's no one attached to any of these projects. There's not even like logos really. So I don't know if it warrants. You've all seen the pictures by now. Maybe you've seen the awkward video of them in the small room,
in the small conference room in the side of a hotel, like very clearly like off to the side somewhere with the stock images. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we're mixed to excited about it. I think the attitude is we'll wait and see. I think that's the prevalent attitude. I think you trust in James Gunn with it a lot more than I do.
James Gunn.
And I think that's the main difference we have. But in terms of the projects, I think it's almost all like, well, let's wait and see. Let's see. Like, well, obviously we're gonna watch it, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, Levi doesn't think that they're gonna get made, which is. I
don't think all of them will be made.
He doesn't think Swamp Thing.
Specifically Swamp Thing. I don't think that movie is coming out. As of right now, I mean, we've heard that director of frickin' Indiana Jones, James Mangold.
Yeah, Mangold
is doing it, but maybe I don't know. Like, he could be attached now, but he has 2 other movies to shoot between now and then, and that is
Bob Dylan movie,
the biopic, and he has multiple biopics to shoot, and that is a lot of work. Making 2 movies, that takes a long time, and a lot can change between now and the start of Swamp Thing. And that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, once again, I'll ask any final thoughts as I added another like 2 minutes of thoughts.
Final thought? No, for me, no.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well,
not at all. Send us out.
I think we did a podcast there. So thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you stuck around all the way to the end. Make sure to let us know what you thought of the video down below in the comments. Like I said, let's see. Tell us your favorite DCU project, and let us know what you thought of the Flash trailer. I think that's definitely the biggest takeaway of the day from the Super Bowl. Leave a like, comment, all the good stuff. And I think we'll see you guys probably next on the Bad Batch stream on Wednesday, or not necessarily Bad Batch, but, we'll be breaking down the episode to episode. And until then, we'll catch you guys around. See you, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye.